Hello, hello. I am live, YouTube land. New timeout links. I can time out people from 10 seconds to 24 hours. Wow. Well, how about them apples? Cool. It is gone live. Going on my Discord. Hell yeah. Haven't done one of these in a while. Streams and expanded thing. You know how it goes. Sign into chat. We'll give it a few minutes before we start this very exciting list. The other ones were pretty fun. We've done Yugi Kaiba, we've done GOAT format. I think that might have been it. I think I talked about maybe doing an Edison one, but I can't think of the card pull off the top of my head for like every card in it, so I don't know if I'll do that one. But I've been a little bit on a Speed Duels kick lately, so I figured let's just do one of these for said Speed Duels. I think when we hit 5 minutes, we will officially start. So that's coming up very soon. Hopefully, we can get some likes before we hit that mark. Yeah, it's insane to think that how like some streamers, like they go live and they get like hundreds of people. I don't know what I would do with that many people. Hopefully, everyone's doing all right. Hopefully, everyone's having a nice chill time out. Put some background music on for you while you relax with this Janjo Zone stream. I think it should be a fun exercise this evening. Look at the past live stuff I've done. We've expanded Goat and Yugi Kaiba. That's been it. This will be the third one. One more minute and we will officially begin. Haven't done a stream in a little bit, not since the God started in November. It's been over a month. Apologize for that. Yeah, I basically stream when I want to. I don't want to force anything. Maybe next year I'll do a little more strums. I was pretty consistent with doing one a week for a bit, but it is what it is. "30 seconds and we'll start. How does that sound? A lot of interesting theory crafting. Yo, History IJ, what's up? Yeah, it's a quiet evening today. quiet evening. Okay, we've hit 5 minutes. I think I'm ready to begin. That's all right. I'm chilling out this evening. Everyone's welcome to come or not. So let me just. I'll just make this. So the thumbnail might have gave it away, but this is the first card. This is a card that comes to mind for speed duels. Now I have an asterisk with this. With the new midterm destruction set coming out in a few months, I have no idea what's going to be in it, aside from a couple things that they mentioned already, like fossil dinos and Arcanophores. So, like, we know some things, but not everything. So, some of the stuff that's on here could potentially appear in that box. I don't know. I'm not gonna put stuff like Arcanophores the world. Like we know it's gonna be in that set. Time Wizard Tomorrow, though, it's very one thing Speedles likes to do is like nostalgia kind of stuff. And this is like a new card with nostalgia that isn't even like good in like modern play. So just having something that, yeah, like I think you're gonna obviously add like a lot of GX cards. So I don't want to do just like GX stuff, but some of the stuff in here may surprise people. So Time Wizard of Tomorrow, when it's once per turn, you can toss a coin. If you call it right, destroys all many monsters on the field, and then you take your opponent takes half of the original attack at the monsters. If you call it wrong. Wait, fuck, hold on a second. I'm hoping there's some cool imports. Oh, it just destroys. Man, I haven't read this card in forever. It destroys many cards, monsters on the field, which I guess includes itself, which is a little unfortunate. You inflict damage. Okay, so whoever takes damage depends on the coin flip. I could definitely I think that'd be a fun. A lot of people are playing Time Wizard. I think the other one is 100 Dragon, potentially. Gain level up to the amount of cards you control. Gains 100 attack for each level gained until the end of the turn. So it definitely has like a small threshold for attack gain. I think it's kind of a neat effect. I like this like Time Wizard support. I do hope we get some cool imports, like the last set, the Streets of Battle City. Like we finally got Fiend Kraken, right? I'm waiting for that Kaiba briefcase to come out because that has Grappler, at least the OCG version. So I assume we're getting Grappler at some point. But it's hard for me to think of like imports for that GX era that we would get. But a couple cards I did mention that Air Neos video, which is one Air Neos. I know we're getting Neospatians, but this card's like a wild card. I think this is the best chance, more than any, to give us Air Neos. So that, and I put a Metamorphosis on there too. And I guess also tangentially Neo Bubbleman. Excuse me, back of throat. Basically because it's GX, I feel like getting Neo Bubbleman with Metamorphosis makes sense because I don't think Metamorphosis breaks anything, right? Certainly not to the extent of like, other cards we have in the format. Right, we don't have Tsukuyomi. We already have Waken the Dragons. I don't know what OCG imports like. I think personally, I mean, some of my ones I would love would be like Gate Dig. Put these here. Like Gate Dig would be fun. Ancient Jar. Weather Control. Ooh, wait. Bishwar, Randy. Yeah, these would be some fun ones. Actually, speaking of fusions, though, I will say we really do need a Zombie Warrior reprint. He has like one printing, and it's kind of a pricey card. And I could totally see. I guess theoretically they would have to add Battle Warrior. I don't think we have Battle Warrior in Speed Duels, but I'm not including him. I'm not gonna put Battle Warrior on here, but just saying like as a fusion, I think Zombie Warrior is kind of a needed reprint. God, something in my throat. Especially because like Zombie Warrior can be used as like insta fusion target for level 3 zombie. And so even if it's not used in Speed Duels, I think it would be nice to have a reprint of it. That's something to keep in mind too when like doing stuff like this. The Man of Wars, I don't think breaks anything. I feel like I was talking about a third card in that video. We're getting Moki Moki for sure. So I'm not gonna add stuff like that is like high percent like we know of. Let me just quickly reference that Neos video I made. For whatever reason, I cannot think of that third card I was talking about. It was Metamorphosis, it was Aeroneos. Oh, that was it. That was it. Pulling the rug. I know it wasn't too long since we got a reprint, but I think it'd be nice to have another reprint, especially just for older formats that people enjoy playing, like Edison. Maybe it'd be a nice card to include. And if anyone has any suggestions of stuff you think we should add, definitely let me know. Here's a here's a wild card. I think they should include synchros and speed duels. This is my hot take that I've mentioned a couple times before. I think if you have like a very select amount, very specific, very focus grouped, I think we can do synchros. And I think they also need synchros because I think we're starting to see issues with the GX era, similar like how it kind of was, that it wasn't as popular as the DM era stuff. But 5Ds was like really popular. And I think the speed of Speed Duels is good enough where you can make it work. I don't know which like specific ones I would add. Maybe like Colossal Fighter. I mean, Colossal Fighter would also be, or I was like all this the stuff that is eroded would be eroded. I think like Black Rose. Though I'm iffy on Black Rose though, just because destroying all cards on the field with a Monster 24, like I feel like that leads way too much into like OTKs. Like, at least with Red Dragon. He has like some other RDA. Oh, Red Dragon Archfiend. Goya would be interesting. Because it also needs an Earth Tuner, which it didn't need when, like, back in its heyday. Before it was, like, eroded. I think we could fit Goyo in. I think Gaia. Oh, here's one that we also, like, really need a reprint of. Magical Android. I think this would be like a solid 6 because it is like the first, couple sets, like the starter deck and then the Duelist Genesis era stuff. I think Black Rose eventually we could say Black Rose, but I think to start we stick with what 5Ds also started with roughly, right? We can even maybe include like Thought Ruler potentially. I think Black Rose and Fair Dragon could be down the line, but I don't think to start. Like this is a good because I'd be very worried about Black Rose and Speed Duels. I believe we already have Psychic Monsters and Speed Duels for Espa's deck, I believe. What are some tuners we could potentially add? I mean, Quick Draw. But I don't know if we need anyone that needs Synchrons specifically. We could potentially add Synchrons, but Psychic Commander I could see, and then what's the guy I'm thinking? Psychic Krebens. That's what I'm thinking of. I don't know what other tuners, like early tuners off the top of my head. Because I know none of these were like the popular ones originally. So what are some other GX stuff? Do you think Dark World would ever get added? Dark World cards. That is GX era. I mean, maybe not graph or colorless, but what would we start? Beige, Brawn, Brow, Gateway to Dark World. I think Dark World Lightning. And hmm. Yeah, we'll get them Zur. There's definitely a possibility. Silver would Silver be the boss monster? Wait, where's Gold? Gold would be possibly there too. I think Gold makes sense. I don't really want like hand rip stuff, especially in like speed duels. That's just be my concern. But if we're doing like, this lineup, there's not like many like a ton of hand discarding stuff. I could see an argument for Silva. I think it's something we have to see like the testing ground first. Yeah, fuck it, we'll add Silva. I'll be chaotic tonight. That's a pretty good lineup. I'm sure there'd be like a Dark World adjacent card that has some sort of wacky effect. Hey, we got a like. Hell yeah. See what are some cards? Let's see. So it's necessarily thinking like what exactly would we want to see? I should have wrote some down. So if anyone has any suggestions, like let me know for sure. Let's see. Where's some I'm trying to think of stuff that like would be in Speed Duels that also needs a reprint. And that's a little tough. What are some good like tuners? Like early Yu-Gi-Oh? Look up Duelist Genesis. Probably not Mind Master. We could add Mind Master. But he is potentially problematic. Potentially. What tuners would y'all like to see? I wonder. I think Mind Master might be fair enough. It's not like we have like crazy OTKs or anything. And that way we at least have like a 1, 2, and 3 tuners. Right. Ooh, what a... Wait, is Time Machine in Speed Duels? I think it is. I think it is. What other cards? Let me look up some like GX stuff. Hmm. Just because I like these. Cyber Barrier Dragon and what's the other bloke? Cyber Laser Dragon. These aren't Speedles, right? Oh. Is Dark World Lightning in Speedles? Hold, wait a minute. Wait, does Speedos already have Dark World? Wait a minute. Am I like... Oh my god, they... What? They do have some Dark World. What the heck? Not much, but they do have some. This is news to me. Holy crap. So they have Brawn, Dark World, Lightning, Rainbow, and Zero. Like that's it. I mean that's fine. We'll still get in the other stuff. What the heck? That's that's wild. I guess we have to add attack reflector unit and photon generator. These cards kind of need reprints too anyway. And I think a skill getting out like Cyber Dragons would be like really cool. Personally, that's just me. Oh, I remember another one I wanted to add. Not what was it called? Um, wait, Garma Sword. This card also really needs a reprint, and if Speedos likes to do generic ritual stuff, I think Skull Guardian is going to get a reprint because of this Skull Guardian like Silent Force archetype. But just for until it is, I'm going to put it here because I think these two need reprints for sure. And if Speedos likes to reprint weird rituals, then like go ahead and give these guys a chance. I say. Let's see what's else possible in the GX repertoire. Do we have Diamond Dude Speedles? We do. We do. Hell yeah. U-Bell. I think we're... Are we not getting U-Bell in the next set? Wasn't that, like, announced? Midterm Destruction. Because I know they, like, soft mention things. Like, mention Aqua Dolphin, Dandelion, Card Trooper. They mention Moki Moki King, Fossil Dragon, Ultimate Tyranno, Neos. Jaden, Sartorius, Tyranno, and Jim. So they have not mentioned U-Bell. I honestly don't even know how the U-Bell cards work. I know we're getting, like, the support. Do we just get, like, one of each of these? Is that... How do you even, like, summon this thing? Just tribute for it? Cannot destroy by battle. Does not take battle damage. I mean, yeah, if you keep doing GX stuff, I could definitely see... them, like, add, like, U-Bell. Because I know U-Bell is popular. When it's attacked... Your opponent takes the damage, it sounds like. During phase, tribute a monster. When it's destroyed, except by its own effect, you special summon Bill Terror Incarnate. Yo, Avery. Oh, missing tomato. Oh, yeah. That's true. Nice, and when this... So they have, like, the same effect, except this destroys all monsters on the field. during the end phase. And then this gets out the Nightmare. I could definitely see a skill about this for sure. Okay. I can see Yubel stuff. I could fuck with that. Mystic Tomato. Okay, hear me out. Tour guy. We don't have Xyz yet. I think eventually they should, add the extra mix up. But we saw when Torai came out, it wasn't doing really anything, right? Because it was released right before we got Xyz monsters. Is there a world where Tour Guide could be in speed duels? Like what level 3s fiends do we have? Yes, it was good for Sandgame, but it was also good for Sandgame because of Xyz monsters being like that additional play. Especially that first month when you could detach Sandgame and get its effect off. Oh, that's get rid of that. You got Ancient Brain, Dark Prisoner, Dark Mimic. I can see Dark Mimic being a good target. But then you're also running like Dark Mimic. Like there's nothing busted. Right? Like theoretically. You could do something with like Gren Maju, but again, like these aren't meta decks. Fuck it, let's say Tour Guide. Also another card comes to my mind. You'll see us what's up. Wetlands I think would be really fun. Nova Summoner. With Wetlands, since we just got the Jam Breeding Machine, that's like a really fun like strategy. Yeah, like you do technically have options, but nothing is broken, so you could do something with it theoretically. So Nova Summoner, if I remember, this is like a Shiny Angel kind of thing. When destroyed by battle, you can special summon a Light Bear 1500 or less attack. So an Air Knight Parsheth. Would this? I know not counter fairies, like Cyber Angels is really busted, but does this work with Cyber Angels? It's like Ben 10 should get limited to one. Honestly, should have been limited to one. The past list. I don't know if we have Air Knight, but like I could see adding Air Knight. We do have Air Knight. Do we have like the we have Pandemonium. We could potentially do like him. I don't know if we have Sanctuary in the Sky. We definitely have Pandemonium because we have Archfiends. We do not. Sanctuary Sky would be kind of fascinating for like fairy decks. Mazera could potentially be like too powerful though. Like ripping 3 cards of like a starting hand of 4. Like turn 1. I don't know about Mazera actually. I think Mazera might be too busted. Because Archlord Zerato. You still need to discard a light monster, and your opponent still needs to have stuff. I'm gonna say no to Mazera, but I do think this package would be fine. As long as start not interesting too many busted fairy stuff. But I think running like an Archlord Zerato deck would be pretty fun. It's funny when you take a card like Mazira Deville, which is like theoretically alright in GOAT, but then it's adding to speed duels. Like, no, that card is could be a big problem. Yeah, I can't think of any like meta fairy decks. Are Cyber Angels fairies? Yeah. But I do think that's either Ben 10 or Machine Angel Ritual is going to get hit on the next list anyway. Vampires, there's a lot of Vampires is a pretty competent deck in speed duels currently. I don't think they need anything. Let's see. What other potential cards or what would be nice with a reprint? How about Infernal? Do we have Infernal Flame Emperor? We do not. I don't think this card would be any good, but I like to see it. I just like the card in general. I think it's a cool looking card. I don't think we need Neo Daedalus because we have Daedalus and it's perfectly balanced for speed duels. This card would be too strong, I think. But this card, like the only there's like that ultimate baseball like direct attack deck, and then there's like volcanics. But I don't think Flame would be breaking anything. Lycanthrope. I mean, it could be fine. So there's no reason why not. I just rather would have like OG stuff that desperately needs a reprint. Like this card's like a $300-400 card, right? Because it has like one printing and it's like a TP8, I think. This one TP2. This one's like a you know $80 to $100 card. I was lucky to get a still not cheap, but like relatively affordable copy. Surprising it was a PSA one. I had a crack open. For whatever reason, there's a PSA that was like, I think it was a 6 or 7, but it was like way cheaper. This is being, I forgot what this card does. I think being a machine go would be kind of cool. Yo, Cheshire, what's up? Are rituals actually useful? Have they ever been? I'm very casual on Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've always extra cumbersome for no reason. Yeah, Relinquished was like a solid rogue deck for a while. Um, if you want like top tier stuff, like Necros comes to mind as like a top tier ritual deck. That was in like what 2015 Yu-Gi-Oh. I think that's when Necros was big. Trying to think of other ritual. Drighton a couple years ago. Oh, yeah, Demise King of Armageddon in 2007. I want a reprint of Bingo Machine Go. I think Blue Eyes is small enough as so like Necros cards, like Necros of Brionac and Valkyrius' stuff, and then Dryton also comes to mind. Drytron. This is a little more recent. This was like 2020, 2021. Those are like the two biggest ritual decks that I can think of. And then yeah, Demise if you want. Go farther back, like Demise OTK with like Doomdozer and Demise. Monster Eye. I like where your head's at. Yes. This card, two printings, both World Championship promos. I would love a Monster Eye. Like, we got Gale Dogra a couple times. Let's give us a little more Monster Eye. Okay. Demise King of Armageddon. Would he work in speed duels? You pay half of your life points. Right? Like, if you go under 2,000, like, you can't use it. Would this be busted in speed duels? Would it be busted? That is the that is a conversation to be had. We do have advanced ritual art. So you would have a way to get them out. Because we have seen them in like some of the ritual, more casual ritual decks, stuff that they usually send something like. I've seen a lot of Red Eyes advanced ritual art builds because you can send them to the graveyard and then use Red Eye Spirit to bring it back. But Demise does have 7-star or 8 stars, so you can't send a Red Eyes because typically it was for like a Fortress Whale deck or something like that. So you probably have to send you can send Blue Eyes. I think Blue Eyes was kind of a popular one a little while back for those types of decks. And then you do have a card like Birthright that brings back normal monsters. Zork. Like the chaotic nature in me would want to add Demise. I can be swayed either way though. Dork. Dark Master Dork. I don't hate it. Like, it's a gimmicky card, but I could totally see people running just for like fun. I don't know if there's any like dice rolling skills. There might be. There might be a Joey one. I mean, if there's any, I'm like totally fine with it. Probably would be Zork. Potentially contract with the Abyss. Like, personally, I think it'd be fun as hell to include Necros, but obviously we can't add Exodia speed duels. That's like an absolute never gonna happen. But I can see like a skill card that's like treat your graveyard with as if it had the pieces of Exodia in it, right? And that way, like, you can't banish. Or you like target cards. I think they can make Necros work without adding Exodia pieces, personally. That's my head canon. I'm trying to think of like for like Bingo Machine. I'm just trying to think of I know we got like Blue Eyes and Kaibaman, but I'm trying to think of cards that specify Blue Eyes White Dragon in speed duels. Like I don't know if there are even any. I mean, we could see it. Like, there's nothing saying that it wouldn't ever show up because we do have dual monster stuff. Okay, so you could potentially search out Burst Stream of Destruction, and that's it. Dragon Master Knight, though, this one came to my mind before. I think there's an argument to make with Dragon Master Knight. Now you may say, well, it has 5,000 attack points. That can kill them in like one shot. Sure, but we already have like Master of Oz, we have Cyber End Dragon, we have Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I think it'd be kind of interesting. I wonder if we should have one more like Spiller Trap. Neutron Blast would be totally wild. Like, honestly, if you want like a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon like OTK deck, chaotic person in me is saying Neutron Blast, yeah. Majesty would be fair too. Just like this is probably like the most fair one we could add. I believe we have Kaiba Man. Destin Rivals I could see. Yeah, we have Kaiba Man. Yo, Shadow of the Moon. I mean, they're going to add more cards anyway. Like I mean, they already have that new set coming out. Um, it just depends, like the level of the type of cards they release. Like some cards are better in speed duels, some cards are worse in speed duels. Like we've talked about Demise Camp Armageddon briefly. Like he could theoretically be really powerful, but he's also like a thing where you can only use the effect a minimum or maximum of one time. Barring life point gain. But I think it's inevitable that they're going to add stuff like synchros, and I think it's fine given just like the speed of speed duels. But again, like you mentioned, it all matters on how they decide to release cards. Because I think, quite frankly, the GX era hasn't been impressing anyone, and I think it's just history repeating itself. Like 5D's hugely popular for Yu-Gi-Oh. Like it was a big win for them, whereas GX wasn't really. And there's only so much you can do with GX too. Like I think sales has been showing that of the GX boxes. Yeah, GX just power ceiling was like fairly weak. I'm gonna be nice and not add Neutron Blast, but I think we at least need to add one more Blue Eyes card just to give you a little more options in a deck. Like we talked about Black Rose earlier. Like I don't think we should have Black Rose. At least they're not at this point. Because these decks are so small and they can only do so much stuff. So like if something gets bigger, will at least be in a probably roughly generic sense. Well, I don't think like the speed's the problem of GX right now. I think the problem right now is My Precious Queen. If it wasn't for that one skill, we would be in the best GX. We're in the best speed duels format right now. A lot of places have soft banned My Precious Queen. My locals, which is the biggest speed duels locals on the East Coast, soft ban My Precious Queen. Like, there's a great format otherwise. Sure, there are top tier stuff, but that's going to be in every single format, right? Like Edison's, there's a lot of fun decks, there's a lot of variety, but we're starting to see the cream rise to the top. We're starting to see stuff with like Black Wings and whatnot. Like it's going to that point where you start seeing those like top 3, 4 decks, like any format, like Goat, right? People are loving Edison right now because it's hip. I think if this is the best time to release synchros is in speed duels where you can release like a very safe amount, let's say 7 synchros, 3 tuners, so players can actually re either re get a hold or like have a new opportunity to get a hold of like synchro summoning and synchro mechanics, and that will translate into the modern like the main TCG, and which increases the player base and just adds more interest in like the card game in general. A lot of people came back to 5Ds, right? A lot of people left in the GX era, but they came back. Or a lot of them left after 2004 Chaos format and came back for the 5Ds era. Gladiator Beasts? Yeah, probably not. I think their tag out mechanic would be too strong. Like even if you add, like even if you don't add Geyseris. Yeah, exactly. You have to be careful what you release. And that's why we're doing it. And I would hope that Konami, if they decide to do that, would be careful as well. Yeah, and I think eventually XZ's, yeah, I think that's way more down the line. Like they have to do one thing at a time, make sure it's working, make sure the game's healthy and balanced. And I think Speed Duels for the most part is pretty good with that because they don't release a ton at a time. Right? They do like a box every so often now. A plethora of new cards. But it's usually more curated. Like if we ever got Xyz, I think like kind of like how I'm doing it would be like very early stuff, very basic things like Utopia, Leviator the Sea Dragon, Grenosaurus, Gachi Gachi Gantetsu, stuff like that. Right, like simple things that wouldn't break the game, but it would be a nice utility to have. Oh god, Trishula. I mean, I don't even want to add like Dark Strike Fighter, and yeah, it would be the erotic version, but even still, yeah. Like I've said before, I don't think it should add Black Rose Dragon because Black Rose seems like way too busted. Actually, technically, you can't even with what we have right now. We cannot add Goyo Guardian because we don't have an. Oh wait, we do have an Earth Tuner. Shit. Excuse me. I'm like, wait, they're all psychics. Oh wait, they're Earth. Dad. Ooh. Nah. The thing. So, Phantom Darkness, I personally consider the main shift between old school Yu-Gi-Oh and new and like modern Yu-Gi-Oh, in which it completely changed like the philosophy of summoning, really, with all the special summons of the like dark monsters. And I don't think we should go that way. Like, don't add Dark Arm Dragon, don't add Judgment Dragon, None of that wacky stuff. That'd be super wild. I can't even fathom that. What about Cosmo Brain? Yeah, you have to find like a nice balance. Like what can work in speed? Like what can work in speed duels? What needs a reprint that can work in speed duels, or that would be fine in speed duels, or what is something that a skill card can make really fun, or like speed duels can enhance. Right. This is why I'm adding Exotic Necros to this. Cosmic Brain, special summon sending a normal monster, so like Red Eyes or Dark Magician. They gain attack by 200. Tribute effect monsters, one normal monster from your hand or deck. Maybe not Cosmo Brain. Yeah, I think Stardust could work. I don't think we should add Starlight Road. Then again, we already have Waking the Dragon. So like, which this card probably should be hit unlimited. I'm surprised it wasn't already. But you still have like the issue of that, like, if you summon Stardust with that, like you can't come back. So it's fine. I mean, you can tell what like a strong card is. Like we talked about this earlier, like Mazir Deville, in context of speed duels, is incredibly strong because you can summon this guy fairly easy turn one, right? You can use reinforcements of the army, you can use terraforming, and rip 3 cards out of your opponent's hand. Like a card that's not that. Like, yeah, sure. Some of these cards you could potentially look at and be like, well, that will break the game, but that's do with people that know how to use the cards correctly. So we do have Psychic Commander is Earth, so he would be well, and you just need like another 2 level 3s. Oh yeah, I mean like everything's going to be current errata because that's just how it would be. Jet Fighter. Yeah, I could see that. It's fine. I mean, I don't hate Psychic Commander. Like him and Krebs were both used probably about the same degree when they came out in Duelist Genesis. I mean, yeah, eventually people switched to Krebs because Dark. But this guy was also level 3, which is nice to have. So I think having a level 3 tuner is like still good too. Like I'm fine with the 4. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get E-Telly. Like that's the thing we don't want is like a ton of like crazy special summoning. Dark Resonator. I mean it's solid, but like Krebs is kind of a similar thing, but you have to pay life points, which I think in speed duels is a little bit more reasonable. No battery men for you. Oh, here's a card I've considered. It might be too broken though. Well, we can't make the cards once per turn. What about Toon Dark Magician Girl? Because Toons already kind of struggle a bit. They did get a good boost with the release of Dark Renewal. And to get like a tune that can actually attack right away is really nice. Like it would be a really good buff for tunes. Because we already have Toon Dark Magician, right? Like we don't have like, the only other strong one we have that's playable is Toon Summon Skull. Like you could even argue like Red Eyes Toon, in which if we added Red Eye Toon, we would not add Dark Magician Girl. I think that'd be a little bit too busted. I think it's like one or the other. I mean, there's even a world you could argue for Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, right? Like I could see like these two. It's either Toon Dark Magician Girl or these two. Hey, I mean, you still make decks to duel with. So, what are we all thinking? Blue and red or DMG? Because, like, yeah, even if you add stuff like Xyz to the game and you do some, like, shenanigans. Blue and DMG? Oh, you're thinking outside the box. I, yeah, I could see that. I'll agree. Yeah, but I still think with tunes though is that they're still like pretty weak. It also depends what like if we ever introduce rank sevens and stuff, which we're not going to do Xyz for at least this stream. Maybe you know down the line because we still have to run tunes. Yeah, thanks, Shadow. Yeah, it's nice having nice solid quality Yu-Gi-Oh history channels that actually takes the time and discusses stuff in depth. Misunderstanding. Oh boy. Aliens could be fun. I know someone mentioned aliens earlier. Yes, History of Yugioh. He duels the guy from Yugioh from Zero, but he is not in fact Ben B Sox. Just take it. Just take the compliment. Just do it. Bah. Aliens. I think we could have like a couple like basic alien stuff. Alien Hunter. See Alien Kid. See Alien Kid. Alien Warrior. And let's add like one other one. This would be a tuner. But not like we're adding alien synchros though. So history of YGO1, he's occasionally on the channel dueling the guy, like the main guy on the channel, but yeah, he is not. I know YGO and history and history of YGO and YGO from zero. Like it's a very dyslexic name convention. Shoutouts to YGO history, Joji Orlando. Maybe Alien Shock Trooper. But actually, Alien Mars would be interesting. Yep, he is my OCG wise man. Plant pollutant virus. Yeah, we're not adding that. I think these four though, if you want like aliens, it's solid enough. I figured there'd be like a skill too, maybe something like Ultimate Wizardry where it places an A counter, or even like a plant pollutant virus, but like a skill version that is a little neutered. Yeah, well, a lot of we saw in some parts of the 5Ds era, maybe like later parts, where you had non once per turn tuner stuff get hit. Um, like Mind Master. I mean, that was a big one. I actually the might have been Tengu Plant format. But like we're not gonna change the effects on anything, right? Find stuff that is not too powerful or things that could theoretically get buffed via a skill. What about Card Trader? I can actually see Card Trader. Card Trooper is actually going to be added to Speed Duels. Card Trader could be kind of nice, just because with the deck count being typically very low, 20, 23 cards tops. Um, you can at least like put stuff back. Like I'm just thinking like the under pressure deck with heals on Ryu. You take out some of the bricks. Oh, here's one. Like we have Metal Morph, right? But we don't have Red Eyes Metal Dragon or Zoa, and I think a skill would be awesome for these guys. Like ignore summon conditions or something. I think that would be freaking awesome personally. I feel like we need to add more like spell trap cards. Getting a little weak sauce here with these. Is double summon Speedles, would that be too powerful? What about Soul Taker? What kind of like normal removal do we have in speed duels? Proactive removal. I'm actually trying to think. I don't know if we have much at all. Like, do we have Fissure? Do we have Smashing Ground? I don't think we have any proactive. Like there's Tribute to the Doomed, there's Offerings to the Doomed. Trying to think of other things. Is adding like Fissure or that too powerful? DM. Hell yeah. Dark Magicians is fun. What's up, Lee? Yeah, yeah. There's Offerings to the Doomed and there's Tribute to the Doomed. Which is I'm wondering if that there is a very specific reason that they don't want to add like Fissure or Smashing Ground. Maybe they figure it'd be too much of a staple. I could see that. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to add legit cards, not anime. There's probably a good reason why these cards are not in speed duels, and I feel like we should respect that. As weird as it kind of seems. Yeah, well, the main reason why it was because of gadgets, even though they weren't top tier, for whatever reason, like I guess Upper Deck felt like they were too busted. Like historically, they were not top tier, but they limited them anyway. Though there have been formats where, like Smash and Ground, and even like Soul Taker are just solid in general. Sure, but like in the TCG, we saw otherwise. What about Samorg? Samorgus board. This could be a kind of a crazy blowout card. Both players take 1,000 in the end phase. Yeah, I mean they're definitely scared of gadgets for sure, and like understandable. Like even though they weren't great in the TCG, people were still very much hype on them. But I feel like the hits was like after the hype kind of died down a bit. But whatever. What are you gonna do? So this is interesting. It could potential like 1,000 damage, but you also can't be. Basically, no one can have back row cards, which is kind of hard to do. There's not much back row removal in the speed duel, unless your deck was like completely based around it, which I think would be kind of interesting. So I think Samorg could work. I think Samorg could work. And on the idea of Chain Dragon, Queen of Thorns, maybe Iron Chain Dragon's a little iffy. Sphinx cards could be interesting. Exod. We do have Crystal Beasts, and they're pretty good. They're actually even better, like 2 formats ago. But yeah, no, but we do have Crystal Beasts, and they're fairly solid. Their main thing is like Crystal Raigeki and what's that spell card? I know they have like a really good spell card too. If we added Exod, what's the card I'm thinking of? I don't remember. I don't think we have any Sphinx cards. No. we could do Pyramid of Light. God, that would be busted. Effect imbuing tuners. I'm trying to think of ones that come to mind. Tore apart. I think Guy is probably fine. I think. Also, we could probably even just cut Gaia. Like, I know people played Gaia. Because I think Goya was hit, but. Okay, yeah, these level 8s. We got a 5, 2 6s. And another 8. You probably cut Gaia, honestly. Do we want to add like a rock stun deck kind of thing? I'm not entirely sure. I could go either way on this package. Seems like a lot of cards, though. They are very fun. I would like to add more back row cards. What's some good Dark Magician stuff? Veil could be good. But I feel like Dark Renewal is kind of like the play around. Honestly, Dark Magician Knight would be really fun. What's the Knight's Let's just tribute Dark Magician, right? Yeah, fuck it. Let's add Dark Magician Knight. That sounds fun. Yeah, I think that we have like a nice like 6. So like theoretically, if you're running a synchro deck, you could run one of each. Though part of me wonders though if you should add a little more variety with like the levels. Not just have, 4 8s, a 5, and a 6. Like what's a good 7? For speed duels, it is 6. 6 extra, 6 side. We're not gonna add Black Rose Dragon. What is an early one? We could potentially do Dark Strike Fighter. Well, like I would want to cut one of these out at least. I think we could like Thought Ruler, so that's just like the last one on the mind. Potentially Dark Strike Fighter. Life Transfer is an early one. We could potentially do those. No, these definitely be like the ones that would be the best though. Yeah, like we don't need to like add all of them. Where's Psychic Life Transfer at? There it is. Yeah, that seems perfectly balanced. Five, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely definitely want to keep them like, basic. I mean, definitely Magical Android, just because I do think we really need a reprint. Part of me almost even wants to like. Nah, it's fine. We can't create a loop with Colossal Fighter, right? Yeah, because we don't have like fucking Armory Arm. That should be fine. We'll have another row we need to accomplish here. Well, the Colossal Fighter, it only gets this effect, once basically, and it has to target a warrior. So you have to kind of be either facing or playing like a very specific deck. But I could see an argument cutting him for something else, like, I don't know, Scrap Archfiend. Then we got 2 7s, 5 6 7 7 8 8. Yeah. Let's do Gaia instead. Let's go back to the OG. And we're gonna keep Red Dragon and Stardust. I think this is probably a good amount. Like you got some powerful ones. You definitely got like Goyo and Stardust, but I don't think anything that your opponent can theoretically prevent you from overpowering with. Dark Highlander. Neither player can synchro summon. I don't think we're even have. I don't even have a fiend tuner, do we? I don't think we need to add more tuners. I mean, even like the whole thing with Gaia is that he has high attack, but he has a low level. Like I imagine some of these would probably be on like the list as well. Like I could see like Goyo or like these guys both be at like a one of, right? Or like a two of. Like keep that in mind too, is that Speedles does have a intricate list. That's different from the TCG. And I wouldn't be surprised if synchros were put on that. We need some more. We need some more back row cards. It is very monster heavy. What do we think about Dimension Fusion? Takes like half your life points. It couldn't. It could use a reprint. And I don't think it would break Banish decks. I say Dimension Fusion. That's just me. We definitely need traps. Holy jabroni. We have like no traps on this. What's Dark Mirror Force looking like? Honestly, okay, hear me out. Dark Mirror Force. Because a lot of people already play around stuff like Wall of Disruption and or like Windstorm of Attack or Zero Gravity. I think Dark Mirror Force could actually be a nice counterplay to your opponent trying to counterplay your play. It's a counterplay to your opponent's counterplay to your counterplay. That if they're gonna attack with monsters but have like a 1 or 2 in defense, then you can banish those monsters, even though their attack still goes through. Dark Mirror Force, I think, could be kind of spicy in current speed duels. Also, I think the card is dope as fuck. What are some traps where some of us are thinking of? Potentially desynchro. I know it's not a trap, but I'm just thinking of cards. I could see this just like it would mainly be used as a counter to synchros. Because you desynchro, bring back their tuners, and then attack over them. Trap monsters. We do have a bunch in the game. Like Zoma's the best one we have. I don't know about Paleozoics. It might be a bit too busted. Because there's that Odeon skill, I believe, right? What's that field spell for these like that came in this like earth deck? What's the card I'm thinking of? Canyon. That's what I'm thinking of. Uh, I don't think these guys are gonna make the cut. Though I would like some OCG imports though. I'm gonna pick these two. These are my two OCG imports of choice. So let's think about this. Are there like synchro traps? Synchro Berry would be a perfectly acceptable card. But I don't know what exact purpose it really has, because it feels kind of worse than just playing a better card to like protect your synchros with. Like, well, Boku's in the game. You know what I mean? I could see Synchro Boost. That could be a solid like level modulator. Yo, what's up? Thank you. Honestly, you probably need some more level modulation stuff if we're gonna introduce. What's some good? Let me see what's in the structure deck. Let's see, Synchro Blast is in Star Eater. Nah. Miniaturize. I could see that. Level Eater? Oh god, no, I hate this card. it's it's way too busted for its own good. Yo, Shiny Dino, what's up? What's meta relevant? Well, right now, it's My Precious Queen. It is a tier 0 format with a really shitty insect token deck. If you don't count that, some of the better decks would be like Ultimate Wizardry, like a spell counter deck. I believe Iron Grit, it's like a gear free deck, is like also like really good. And there's a variety of stuff. We already added Synchro Boost, Synchro Blast Wave. That also came in the starter deck. Although that, I mean, technically you do need a Synchro Destroy a monster, but is kind of, I don't know. And Synchronized Realm. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you could potentially do something with it. But if you can, like, stack them, and I don't know, it feels a little scary. Level Returner. Okay, I could see that, yeah. So I at least have, like, 3 cards that can modulate levels. We're not adding Xyz monsters. That might be for, like, a future thing. Future show, I could always do, like, what if we introduce Xyz monsters of speed duels? But, I'm only going towards synchros for right now. But it does not mean we can, look back at it in the future. Maxi. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be like the craziest thing. Because even like when Maxi was released, it wasn't that crazy. Like it was played, but it wasn't like how we imagine nowadays, right? That said, I don't think I'm gonna add hand traps. Because that doesn't feel like the philosophy of speed duels right now. For the most part. I mean, I could definitely see, like, I think it'd be fine, honestly, in speed duels. But remember, it's speed duels. It's supposed to go fast. Yeah, Karibo's a hand trap. Like anything you can like discard from your hand to like activate an effect, like reactive to your opponent, like that's a hand trap. But like Karibo is definitely not on the same level as like Effect Veiler, Maxi, Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, that stuff. And we can also fill up the side deck and extra deck too with like other fusion monsters, by the way. So don't look at this and think, oh, there's only 2 left. I just do want to keep the synchro lineup small, is all. I always look at. Okay, here's another one. How about light wave tuning? Can also work with like Nova Summoner. I think that could be a fascinating card. I don't know how many psychics are in speed duels. I know we have some. Okay, so just the two. Okay. I'm only saying because I'm potentially thinking. So, what do you all think about Psychic Overload? You have to target 3 psychics, in which we don't have many great psychic monsters, right? Like, yeah, we have a couple of synchros and there's 2 already in the game, and then we're having what, like 3 more potentially back a deck, draw 2 cards. Like we have a card like we have Jar of Avarice in the deck. So it only like recycles basically a bunch of. It's great to like recycle tuners. While also not necessarily always being like a live card. I kind of like it. If anyone disagrees with me, let me know. We still have some more space to fill out, guys. Help me out here. Help me help you. I mean, this is already like a really good amount. What other cards are extra deck stuff? I don't think. Where would I slash work? It's speed duels. I think it might be too powerful. Actually, I don't think we have Black Skull Dragon in speed duels. Which let's just fix that. I'd love to get like a secret rare of it. Let's have that Black Skull. I think Dark Sage could be fun too, because I think they could do like a Time Wizard skill or something in the game. Hmm. Battle Mania? Never heard of this card. But we have cards like that, kind of. Like we have Zero Gravity and Whisper Taka that's like still kind of being played. I think if we didn't have those, I would say yeah. But it's definitely an interesting card. Hmm. What E heroes do we not have? I know we're getting Neo stuff, so I don't want to add anything aside from Air Neos, because... Yo, what's up? Balmain plus Gate Guardian? Potentially, yeah. Gaia could be cool. I could see Gaia. Something confirmed. Basically, like I could see like the manga stuff. Maybe not like absolute zero. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let's take these guys out. Okay, definitely need like Phoenix Enforcer and Shining Phoenix Enforcer. Come on. We can't leave those guys out. Mine's GX. I hope they come in the new box for sure. And also like I think this is like the last of like the classic ones we don't have too. Is Mudball Man. Let's add these guys. I think Gaia is the most nice of the manga fusions. But we can still add stuff to the side deck area. So we still got plenty we can pick from. We and I want to finish this off too. We are getting Dark Guardian stuff too, which I think is rather fascinating. What more do we want to add? What is some solid like backer stuff that wouldn't break the game? I know we don't have like MST, but I think they're trying to play around just like free removal. I don't think we're gonna have like Twin Twister. Gatling. It doesn't need to be GX. That's the thing. Like I definitely agree. And we do have both of those cards, don't we? In Speed Duels already. I know we have Barrel Dragon. Do we have Blowback? We do. So yeah, let's add Gatling Dragon. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a great one to add. He 100% needs a reprint. Also, I don't know. Spirit Reaper isn't in Speed Duels, is it? But like, and should it be in Speed Duels? Is the question. Because my original thought was like Reaper on Nightmare probably needs a reprint too. But it might be too much of an annoying card, so I'm gonna say no for now. Let's see what other stuff. I don't think we should add Trap Dust Shoot. What are some cards in Edison that needs reprints? Like I'm not gonna add like Swap Frog. Not Swap Frog. What am I which fucking frog am I thinking of? Or Toad? This one, Substitute. he needs a reprint, but I don't think we're about to add Toads in the game. Or if we did, Treeborn Frog could potentially. Treeborn Frog would warp the game. Honestly, we could just do like a Death Frog, D3S Frog thing. And then like, Tadpole or yeah, Beazle Frog. And like Tadpole. So now we have this like basic frog package, and and it's a reason to reprint Substitute. There you go. I'm perfectly fine with that. And then yeah, Froggy Force Field too. Because we gotta get something to frogs. This does game for Treeborn Frog, but this doesn't mean that we need to print Treeborn Frog in Speed Duels. Essentially, there is like a big beater. And there probably is like a skill we could use too. Envoy of the Evening Twilight. Got an equal number in your grave. That's already tricky. He's light and dark. When he's special summoned, depending on which ones you activate, you can activate the effects. So it's only when it's special summoned, and you cannot attack when you activate. Do they both activate if you tribute it, or if you banish both? I suppose you can. It banishes a monster and a random card until their end phase. If there is ever a way to put Envoy, I think Twilight would be that. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I see. He only picks one or the other. Yeah, he's just like a really shitty BLS. Though technically, you just need one light and one dark, theoretically. But he also can't attack. We also need to be running like a very specific. I mean, Foolish Burial is in the game, and there's other cards to, like set it up. I'd be a little worried that it could still be broken, right? Especially with like such a small deck, because you could run stuff like Tribute to the Doomed and Foolish Burial and whatnot. And then you just have like a 3K beater. But in context of speed duels, is that stronger than like other decks that we have? Because we have stuff like the Gate Guardian skill to bring out. I think it's Angel 7. And there's certain like beater decks. Evening Twilight's really interesting. I'll give you that. Because you would be like banishing like all of that copies, and if theoretically if you wanted to summon more, you would have to like have way more intricate setting up. Like you probably wouldn't run 3, you might run 2, and your deck would be like really based around this one dude. Especially like it's like if it's light. I mean, you essentially get like 2 summons theoretically, right? And if you do like light, potentially banish your own monster, but then you just would banish dark instead. It seems like there'd be a way to break it. That's my concern. I'm gonna say no on Even Twilight for now, but it's definitely interesting. I could be swayed though, but what other cards are some of us thinking potentially for speed duels? We're only going up to the Synchro era as like the spicy spice. Dark Elf. Dark Elf does require 1,000 to attack, but it does have 2,000 attack points. I do like Dark Elf as a card. It's a very nostalgic card. And we already have Jirai Gumo in the game. This one's for me. Doriado. Honestly, Doriado would be really cool just for like having a skill around revolved around her. Like a skill that makes all that stuff like go on. Like her as a skill card, I think would be interesting. Or like a skill that like lets you do a bunch of stuff with a bunch of attributes. I think that'd be kind of fun. So I will agree with that. I think as potential for a speed duel strategy is nice. I don't think we need to add like Shinado or any other like goat format rituals though. Can you imagine Injection Fairy Lily and Speedles? Let's see here. What about this card? Speaking of Doriad. No, that's not the card I'm thinking of. I mean, we could. Honestly, if we're going to do like a Dorado, we kind of have to add that. What am I thinking of? Zing. So Zing is like, it's not a removal, you know, right? It's not like Night Beam or Cosmic Cyclone that's like already in the game. But, and you can potentially be forced to select your own. It's like a weird soft removal kind of thing. It does use one of your slots up too. This could be a way to add another form of soft removal in the game. What does anyone think about Jing Zhenhu? I think this card's like it's good enough to be balanced, but still like much playable. So what about back to square one? This might. I don't hate this because we already have Tribute to the Doomed in the game. So it would is essentially the same thing, but it stacks, right? It's like it's the Raigeki Bake to or it's the Wing Blast Phoenix Wing Wind Blast to Raigeki Break. So I like it. Ooh, one other card actually. Mystical Knight of Jackal is another one of my like favorite nostalgia cards back in the day. You can create like a Jackal lock. I think a Jackal themed deck would be dope as fucking Speed Duels. So I'm definitely adding it. So this is what we got. I think this is a very cool like expansion of Speed Duels. I would be 1,000% down for this. You know, it adds a soft landing for synchros, adds a lot of nice reprints, a lot of anime cards, a couple imports, some reprints people may not expect, some people may want. Cards that would make the format very much interesting. Which, you know, I am all down for. Like, Phoenix Wing isn't, like, in the deck, or isn't in Speed Duels, at least. Like, neither is Raigeki Break. Also, the issue is just, like, getting your cards right. It's like, it's not like the Jackal Lock deck was anything beyond, like, a really terrible, terrible deck. And people might rather run, you know, like, actual removal. Because not like you can get this card out easy, you know? Like, essentially, it would have two stacking cards, but, like, that's it. Like, theoretically, there could be, like, a skill or something. Like, you might be able to use them with that, Gate Guardian skill. Which I think is works for, like, level 7 monsters. But, still, not always does this effect necessarily work out. Because if you hit, like, let's say Mystic Tomato, Tomato will still get its effect off and stack. Because Jackal, it sends them to the graveyard first and then stacks them. It doesn't send them from the field to the deck. That is the big issue with Jackal. That's why he's terrible in GOAT format. Because if he hits a Sangan, you know, Sangan gets its effect off and then restacks. So you can see like the issue with that. But theoretically, it could work. I think this is like a pretty competent list. I'm pretty happy how it turned out, all things considered. You know, some of it's like the stuff I would like to see. You know, I'm gonna be that guy, but that's it. You know, whatever. It's my list. Fuck everyone. Just kidding. Love you guys. Y'all absolute legends. I didn't even know they had Dark World cards and Speed Duels already. Like they have like 3 cards, but it's kind of crazy that they technically do exist in some capacity. So they better add these guys in the Speed Duel Destruction box. I think they're adding Aster stuff, so I get the feeling we're gonna get these guys. We already have, you know, Shining Flare, Wingman. So, all right, I think I'm gonna call it a stream there. I know, kind of. I mean, roughly around the time for my streams, 2 to 3 hours. But hopefully, I can get back into doing this like once a week thing. Hopefully, you all enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions for like other things like this or any stream ideas, definitely let me know. I do plan doing like a video game thing eventually, and also hopefully you all have been enjoying Janjo Miss 2023. A lot of great videos. Got a cool video tomorrow, as well as really the rest of the week. So yeah, until I see you all next time, have a wonderful day. Bang bang.